Good morning, dear students. So we have seen in the previous lecture application of dimension analysis to natural convection heat transfer. In this class we'll understand the application of dimension analysis to force convection heat transfer. So as we discussed, it is very important to first decide the dependency of heat transfer coefficient on the variables in the problem. So let us assume the heat transfer coefficient small h in a fully developed force convection in a tube is a function of the following variables. So this is very important. First we have to write down the dependency of h on the remaining variables. So h is a dependent variable, remaining are independent variables. So as it is seen in the equation, h is dependent variable, so which is a function of rho, density of the fluid, diameter of the pipe, velocity of the fluid, viscosity of the fluid, then specific heat of the fluid, then K, thermal conductivity. So these all are the variables in the problem. So now we have written h is a function of the remaining variables in the problem. So total, if you count, there are 7 variables. Dependent variable is 1, independent variables are 6. So there are totally 7 variables. Then how many fundamental dimensions are there in the problem? There are 4 fundamental dimensions in the problem. M stands for mass, L stands for length, T stands for time, then theta stands for temperature. So as it is a thermal problem, there is 4th parameter involved in the problem. So N, here M is equal to 4. It is wrong here, actually it should be M is equal to 4. So number of dimensionless terms, that is number of pi terms in the problem, will be n minus m. So that is n is equal to 4, n is equal to 7, m is equal to 4, we get 3. So totally we get pi 1 term, pi 2 term, pi 3 term. Finally when we rearrange the term according to the required answer, we will get the relation between the variables in the given problem, or the expression of the variables in the problem. So that is how it can be solved. Now we can write down the equation number 1 as h is a function of rho, d, v, mu, cp and k. So it is a now f1, that is f1 is function is equal to 0. So we can write down the equation like this: f1 is equal to 0, then f1 is pi 1, pi 2, pi 3. So you can write down the equation like this. Okay. Further, we have to decide the repeating and non-repeating variables. So if you see in the problem, h, rho, dv are considered as repeating variable set, and remaining mu, cp, k are considered as non-repeating variable set. So why it is important? Because when we are writing equation for pi 1 term, pi 2 term and pi 3 term, we write down the equation. It is written in the next page, you can see. So it is very important to decide repeating and non-repeating variables. So pi 1 is equal to, first 4 you can see, h, rho here in this equation, h raised to a1, rho raised to b1, d raised to c1, v raised to d1 are repeating variables, and we have taken one of the non-repeating variable. Similarly, you have to repeat it for another 2 non-repeating variables. Okay, so mu is 1, cp is another non-repeating variable, k is another non-repeating variable. But if you see pi 1, if you see pi 2 is equal to h raised to a2. In place of a1 it is a2, rho raised to b2. In place of b1 it is replaced by b2. Similarly, d raised to c2, v raised to d2. Then pi 3 is, similarly it is repeated for repeating variables h, rho, dv. The powers are a3, b3, c3, d3, and a non-repeating variable. So thus we get equations 4, 5, 6. Okay, continuing. So what we have to do, we have to write down the SI units of all the variables in the problem and convert them in the form of MLT. So first it is H, heat transfer coefficient. Unit is watt per meter square, Kelvin or degree Celsius. Okay, when we write it in the MLT form, we get M, T raised to minus 3, theta raised to minus 1. So how it is obtained, you can check the previous video. Then rho, density, mass by volume. The definition is mass by volume. For mass it will be m, for volume it will be L raised to minus 3. So it is written here. Then similarly for diameter it is L. Similarly for velocity L t raised to minus 1, viscosity m L raised to minus 1 t raised to minus 1. Then for specific heat it is L square t raised to minus 2 theta raised to minus 1. For thermal conductivity m L t raised to minus 3 theta raised to minus 1. So once you write down the variables in the form of ml, t and theta, substitute them in the equations number 4, 5 and 6. So we are substituting all these values in 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in place of h we will be writing this value. Okay, so in equation number 4 it will be pi 1. For pi 1, if you check pi 1, it is non-dimensional term, so it will be m raised to 0, L raised to 0 and t raised to 0, theta raised to 0. In place of h we will get this term. Okay, so h will be replaced by this term with power a1, so we'll get it like this. In place of h it will be m t raised to minus 3 and theta raised to minus 1 raised to a1. Similarly for rho it will be replaced by ml raised to minus 3. So when you write down pi 1, so in the form of ml theta we will get the modified equation like this. So you can see here, this is the modified equation: m raised to 0, L raised to 0, t raised to 0, theta raised to 0. On the RHS side all the terms are replaced with ml, t and theta. So this is h term, okay, this is rho term, okay, this is d term, this is v term, and finally this is a non-repeating variable mu. Okay, so when we write down all in terms of ml, t and theta, so what is the next step? Next step is equating the exponents or the powers of ml, t and theta respectively. First m term, okay, equation 7 you can see 0 is equal to a1 plus b1 plus 1. So m raised to 0 is there on the LHS side, it is 0 here. On the RHS side m raised to a1, okay, then plus m raised to b1. In this term, in the third term there is no L term, in the fourth term there is no L term. Here we have m raised to 1. In this term we have m raised to 1, so it is written here. So that is equation number 7. Similarly you can get the equation number 8 by substituting the powers of L. So this is when you take only L terms. On the LHS side it is 0, on the RHS side we get minus 3b1. So you can see here, in the first term there is no L term, in second we have L raised to minus 3 into b1, so minus 3b1 will come, then plus c1 will come, plus c1, then L raised to d1, then minus 1. So this is how we get equation number 8. Similarly we can get equation number 9 and equation number 10. So from equation 10 you get the value of a1 directly, then substituting them in other equations and finding out the values of b1, d1 and c1. So you can solve it as you want. So finally what we have to do, substitute all the values of a1, b1, c1 and d1 in equation number 4. Then after substituting we get pi 1 is equal to h raised to 0. So h raised to 0 meaning the value of a1 is 0, it is h raised to a1. Then rho raised to b1, in place of b1 we write down the value as minus 1. Then d raised to c1, c1 is minus 1. Then v raised to d1, the value is minus 1 into mu as it is. So we, on simplification we get pi 1 is equal to mu divided by rho v d. Okay, similarly we can get the value of pi 2 term following the same procedure: m raised to 0, L raised to 0, t raised to 0, theta raised to 0, that is for pi 2 term. Then for this is for h term, this is for rho term, this is for d term, this is for mu term, this is for finally it is this is for sorry. Okay, so similarly pi 2 it is for L term, this is for rho term, This is for D term, this is for V term, and this is for Cp term. All the values are written in terms of ml, T and theta. So repeating the procedure, we get the values of A2, B2, D2 and C2. Substituting them in equation number 5, we get this expression, pi 2 is equal to rho V Cp D by K. And similarly repeating the same procedure for pi 3 term, then we get the values of A3, B3, C3, D3. Then on substitution we get the pi 3 term, K by HD. Okay, now as I discussed earlier, so depending on the problem we can rearrange pi terms. So it is rearranged and written here. Pi 3 is a function of pi 1 and pi 2. So pi 3 is K by HD is equal to C, which is a constant, rho mu divided by rho dV. We have taken here m raised to m dash for this term and raised to n dash for the pi 2 term. For pi 1 term it is taken as pi 1 term is nothing but mu divided by rho dV or rho Vd raised to m dash, then pi 2 term raised to n dash. Okay, this is to get the required answer. Then what we have done, where you can see here where m and n are constants, we are assuming one thing: if m dash is greater than n dash, then we can write down like this. So just see the adjustment here. This m dash term, it is written as m dash, and here we have taken m dash minus n dash. Okay, so this is actually n dash. So here we have taken first term and third term. If you see, first term is mu divided by rho dV raised to n dash. So this is n dash here. So let me make it clear, this is n dash. So here for this it is m dash minus n dash. So when we cancel, again we will get back the same previous equation. So it is adjustment in order to solve the problem and get the required answer. Then this term is kept as it is. Then so on simplification we can see that some of the terms are getting cancelled. So some of the terms are getting cancelled, that is rho dV. Then we will be left out with this term, then this term. So instead of writing m dash minus n dash, in the next equation we have written it like this: rho Vd by mu raised to m, then mu Cp by K raised to n in place of n dash. So this is the adjustment in order to get the required. So after adjustment, finally you can see we get nu is equal to C into Re raised to m Pr raised to n, which is the required answer. So this is nothing but when you apply the dimensional analysis to force convection heat transfer, we get nu is equal to constant into Re raised to m Pr raised to n. So the question can be asked in another way also. Get the relation between Nu, Re and Pr for forced convection heat transfer. This can be the another modification in the question. So this is a very important question from exam point of view. Earlier we have covered one question on natural convection heat transfer. This is on forced convection heat transfer. In the next class we will discuss we will take up some of the problems and we will solve them. Thank you.